Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Saturday, September the 9th, race number 8 at Hastings Park. Let's take a look at the field for the Grade 3 British Columbia Derby. $150,000 is the purse. We're going 1 1/8 miles, and you can download free Formulator past performances just by heading over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. We'll take the field in post position order, Matt. We'll begin with the number 1, AP Zona, and this horse has just been a beacon of consistency ever since he got up to Hastings. He just loves the racetrack.
Yeah, it really does, and I think that's an important thing to note. We're going 3 turns here Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, so you're going to want to keep that in mind. I feel like this horse would really appreciate some pace up front. I don't know that he's necessarily the likeliest of win candidates, but I think he's going to come with an honest run.
But he should get some pace, and he is in good form. What do you make, though, of the fact that the Buyer's speed figures have declined as he's stretched out in distance, because he has to go another 1/16 of a mile here?
It's so difficult for me to really gauge, because you keep in mind, I mean, he won the start 2 back, so maybe he just ran that much slower, but he's running up against some common foes in here again. He wasn't embarrassed last time out. He's going to need to improve and get closer to those mid-80 Buyers that he was running going 2 turns as opposed to 3, but it's still one of those instances where I don't really know what to make of it.
He's familiar and comfortable on the racetrack. The 2 more power to him is a virtual stranger to Hastings. He has 1/2 mile work on September the 4th. I've always been a big fan of this horse from his days back in Northern California racing on a synthetic surface. He has yet to win on dirt from 2 starts at Emerald Downs, but he's run well enough, and he's going to get some pace.
I can say almost the same thing for the 2 that I did the 1. I think he's consistent. I think he's going to come with a run. He is going to be at the mercy of pace in this spot. He's also going to be at the mercy of, does he like the sort of bull ring configuration or not? Because this is going to be a bit of a different animal for him. I do think he's going to come with an honest run, though. He
is now with a high percentage trainer in Kay Cooper, and we have a pretty positive formulator fact. Over the past 6 months, with 3-year-olds on the dirt, 20% and a positive return on investment. Does it bother you that in the Emerald Derby last time out, he didn't change leads in the stretch?
Yeah, always going to bother me, but I feel like if you're ever going to have something weird happen, it's going to be going 3 turns, just because it's not something that they're accustomed to. So we'll find out. Maybe distance isn't going to be his friend. I've always thought that 1 1/8 miles, you get out to these distances, it would be beneficial. This is a different configuration, though.
Trainer Robertino Diodoro claimed Chief Know-It-All for $100,000 2 starts back, and his faith and his wallet were rewarded by shipping up to Northlands Park and winning the Grade 3 Canadian Derby, where he was under siege from both sides turning into the stretch, and he still got it done by a 1/2 length at 1 3/8 miles. So we know he kind of likes a bull ring configuration racetrack, and we know distance isn't going to be a problem, and he has a nice stalking gear to boot.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go to the lead. That's the most important thing, because you have other speed balls in here that really, their game is speed. You got to just throw it down and go for it early on. You know the distance is no issue. You know that this bull ring sort of configuration is no issue. There's really not a lot to knock about this horse other than the price.
Parsimonious the 4 is a 3rd-time starter that is yet to finish first. He was awarded first purse money in a maiden race on August the 18th. He is stretching out for the first time. Perhaps a pace factor?
Yeah, I don't think he has much of a chance as far as winning is concerned, but I think he could muddy things early on.
I think Double Bear is an outside chance in here. Maybe the pace doesn't work to Double Bear's favor. He ran really well in the Canadian Derby, stretching out to 1 3/8 miles. He was confronted by Chief Know-It-All and Trooper John to his outside, and turning into the stretch, he got banged right into the rail by Chief Know-It-All, and he still fought it out, dead heating for second. He's a nice horse that doesn't have to go 11 furlongs this time.
Yeah, he's going to get a little bit of distance relief here, and maybe that's going to be the difference maker. The problem is with that outside draw, outside of the 3, I should say anyway, Chief Know-It-All, I'm curious. I don't know what his advantage is going to be, because you're going to have to probably come from a little bit farther off of it unless you want to duel and get into a scenario like you did last time. And again, maybe the distance was the difference maker, but he wasn't good enough to beat Chief Know-It-All then. How's he going to turn the tables now?
Driller, the number 6, 7 seconds from 11 lifetime starts, and he had a lead in the stretch in his last 2 races, both at short prices, and he blew it. Is it a situation where he may not have the gumption to beat you, or has the distances been just a little bit too far? Because he did win 3 starts back sprinting.
I'm more inclined to think it's the distance. You look at the 3 times that he's gone a route of ground, every time he's made, or been close to the front anyway, and he's lost ground with that final pace call. So there's a part of me that just doesn't think he wants any part of the distance.
Trainer Tim Rycroft won this race last year with Academic, and he's got a strong contender in Trooper John, who was so good at Northlands Park 2 starts back, hammering Double Bear by almost 10 lengths. I thought he was a virtual cinch in the Canadian Derby, and I think his jock thought so too, because he began a big outside brush with about 3 furlongs to go, like it was his for the taking. I think he was a bit surprised that Chief Know-It-All had as much fight in him. I think if he can could do it again, he would have waited just a little bit.
Just a little bit, and you know what? He's going to probably have an opportunity to do that here. Now, I wonder if a little bit shorter is necessarily playing into his benefit or not, because again, I know he's wanted a mile and a 16th and a mile, but I wonder if that mile and 3/8 was really right up his wheelhouse, and now you're going back to a mile and 1/8. Maybe you're playing more into the hands of some of the other horses that they're true speedballs. I know he can be forward, but he's not a true speedball in my opinion.
They were cooking up front for the handsome chef last time out. 22-1, 22-2, 45-1, and he was able to win his maiden in that allowance race at a nice price, beating a couple of horses in this race. Similar pace situation here, needs a buyer boost.
Yeah, needs a buyer boost. He's probably going to get a good run as far as the setup is concerned. He's just a little slow.
Most intriguing horse in this race is the morning line favorite, in my opinion, the number 9 Riser, who is 5-2, who began his career on synthetic and turf and was merely okay. Ever since being switched to dirt at Emerald Downs, he's been a revelation. He's won 3 of 4 starts, gate-to-wire winner of the Emerald Derby last time out at this mile and 1/8 distance. A couple of questions, though, he has to answer as we look at the Timeform U.S. pace projection. One, how's he going to handle this sort of oddly configured racetrack? And B, will he be able to get away with setting a very fast pace against these horses?
The biggest problem I have with this horse, I mean, he makes all the sense in the world. The only problem I have is, thus far, when he doesn't make the lead. And I know technically he's only not made the lead one time in his career, but I think he is a true need-to-lead type. Now, he's probably just faster than everyone else, as the pace projector would indicate. I don't know if he's that fast going this sort of configuration. You're going to have other horses, especially the maiden. I mean, the maiden, the only hope you have is to try to go and try to speed pop the field. This horse is going to go. I don't know. He makes all the sense in the world. He's just the kind of horse that if he misses the break and he doesn't get to the lead, is he completely out? I just don't want to find out at 2-1 or 8-5.
Exactly. He's the kind of horse where there are enough things perhaps to go against him at a short price that you'd want to take a shot with somebody else. Hunter's Appeal's a little bit slow on paper, but goes out for a high percentage trainer and has steadily improved since being stretched out in distance.
Yeah, still going to need to step up from a speed figure standpoint, but like you say, you got nothing really to knock, continues to improve.
Before we get to my top pick, I want to throw up a formulator fact for Riser's fine trainer, Blaine Wright. Over the past 4 years with 3-year-old last out winners on dirt off a short lap, it's very good. 50% and a $4.50 return on investment. Okay, pick time now for the British Columbia Derby. You're going with my son.
Yeah, I'm going with one of your boys in here. More power to him. I just think it's an instance where if the pace does heat up and if for some reason Riser can't make the top, I think it comes apart a little bit, and I don't think the distance is much of an issue for this horse. Again, you don't know until he tries this sort of configuration, but I'll give him a look.
We mentioned all the things not to like, perhaps, about Riser, mostly the price. I just think he's the best horse in this race, and I think he is faster than some of these others. How will he handle the track? I don't know. I don't want to take anything less than 2-1. I might be forced to. Yeah. It's going to be close. Give me numbers.
2-9-3-1.
9-5-2-7 for me in the Grade 3 British Columbia Derby. If you are playing the Saturday Hastings card from home, it's a really nice card. 10% win place takeout on 10 select tracks. Get it while it's hot. Summer's almost over. Plus a $300 cash bonus. Learn more at drf.com/take10. Approximate post time for the British Columbia Derby, 5:25 Pacific. Best of luck.